Hey, Tom here from the Run Testers with another video of the latest running shoes out there. This video I'm going to be having a look at 361 Degrees' latest stability shoe, the Strata 4. Let's have a gander. If you haven't heard of 361 Degrees, it's a running shoe brand that hails from China, and it's pretty big over there. It's nowhere near as big over in Europe and the US as over there, but they're growing quite a bit, and you may have started hearing about them more over the last few months. The Strata 4 is a shoe that is the most recent version of their kind of flagship stability shoe, and I tried the Strata 3 around a year or so ago, and I quite liked it. Strata 4's had a few updates made to it, but first let's have a look at the stats you need to know about the shoe. It's going to cost you $155 or around €160. Unfortunately, there isn't a UK pricing in pounds yet, because it normally takes a little bit of time for it to kind of make its way into UK dealers. The weight comes in at 330 grams in the size 8 for men, which is 11.8 ounces. For women, that's around 270 grams and 9.7 ounces. It's a road shoe, it's a stability shoe, there's an 8mm drop, and for us, it fits true to size. The first thing you notice about the Strata 4 when you've got a hold of it is that it really is a shoe designed for stability. Everything about it is about support, stability, and kind of thick strength to hold that foot in place as you're running. That back heel section there is really heavily padded. It's quite thick, and when you put your shoe in, it does feel really nice and cushioned when you put it in there and kind of cradled with this soft plush material. The upper section at the front, not as padded, but it is still fairly, there's still quite a bit there. Same goes for the midsection here. So overall, there's quite a thick upper section, which is very conducive to a lot of support and stability when your foot's in there. The lower section, in the midsole and the outsole, again, there's a lot there. It's a pretty thick stack of cushioning there, and it's quite hard as well, which you'd expect from a kind of sturdy stability shoe. That midsole is made up of something that 361 Degrees, and they have lots of different names for these materials that they use across the shoe. Quick foam, but there's also another layer in there which is called Quick Spring Plus. So those two layers are meant to combine to add kind of soft, cushioned kind of experience, and the Quick Spring Plus layer is meant to offer some rebound as well, so you've got the best of both worlds from two different midsole materials. There's also pretty hefty medial post in there for stability, and on the outsole there's quite a lot of rubber in comparison to what you see on a lot of shoes around these days. So quite a lot of materials that sit around this section here to build that support and stability up. Another interesting feature, which I really like in these actually, is the 361 Morph-It lacing. Now, I didn't really know what that meant with the other shoes, but it's quite visible in terms of how this actually works with the 361 Strata. So as well as the laces that sit over the top section, there's this additional, it's still lacing basically, but it just kind of sits around the side of the shoe here, so that when you tie up the laces, these additional bits of lacing help strap the foot in a bit more for stability. Seems to work, definitely isn't counterproductive, and it actually looks quite nice as well. Probably my favourite element of this shoe is the tongue section, and it's quite heavily padded tongue section, it's quite hefty, is actually connected to the inside of the shoe. So when you put your foot in, it just stays in place. It actually feels like a really kind of thick sock that you're putting on, and you kind of slide your foot in it. It just feels like your foot's really in a lot of cushioning. Feels really nice actually, but that connected tongue just stops it from moving around and just makes it feel more sock-like and cushioned as you put them on.
So I'm currently just on a 10 miler, mainly across roads, but a couple of fields as well. Got the Strata 4s on. This is the second time I've run. The first time was just a kind of a light 10k. So this time I'm pushing it a bit harder, getting a bit faster. Overall, they feel really comfortable, so they're nice to wear. They feel quite hard. They're a stability shoe. There's hardly any sort of softness or responsiveness in them. So, I mean, they're not the most enjoyable shoe to run in over a long distance when you're trying to go a bit faster, but they're perfectly comfortable. I've had no issues with them since putting them on in terms of fit or comfort or rubbing. So yeah, they're doing a nice job in terms of comfort, but not as responsive as I'd like.
So I've been wearing the 361 Strata for about 50 miles so far, and my experience has been very good. I don't wear that many stability shoes, and to be honest, you don't find too many kind of old school traditional style stability shoes that have this much stability in these days. There's a lot of stability shoes out there that are classed as stability shoes, but they don't have this same kind of tough, sturdy structural format. The Strata 4 is as traditional as you get really with stability shoes. It's you know straight away as soon as you're holding it, it's a stability shoe. When you're wearing it, it feels, every step you take feels like your foot is firmly hitting the ground. It feels very stable when you're running, which is a big plus point for a stability shoe because that's what you want. For me, I don't necessarily need stability shoes. I do wear them occasionally. I do some I quite like. The Strata 4 is probably a little bit too extreme in terms of stability for me, but I did enjoy running in it. I've done multiple distances in the Strata 4, so from about 7k runs to about 15k runs, and it worked very well across all of those. It delivered a nice, comfortable ride. The shoe just feels so comfortable with your foot in it. It's really nice, that cushioning on top. But it doesn't deliver a lot in terms of energy return, in terms of rebound, and in terms of softness. It's actually quite a hard shoe. So really, it's quite a nice shoe to wear if you're running and you haven't really got any focus at all. You just want something that will keep your foot nice and stable and in place. But if you want to go a bit faster, or you want a really soft, cushioned ride, you won't get it from these. It's quite a hard shoe. If you're going out to run and your sole focus is just to do the distance and get some mileage in, it delivers very well, and it works quite nicely from the fact that when you fatigue or get you're kind of struggling at the later miles of a long run, you're not going to overpronate. It feels very secure. Every step you make is like your foot's firmly stuck in the ground. You're not wobbling around or anything like that. But having said that, if you want to pick up the pace a bit, it's not a very good shoe for doing it in, because it doesn't feel that nice. There is 361 Degrees do talk about a kind of smooth transition, and it's not a bad transition. It's barely even noticeable, which is probably conducive to being smooth, but it doesn't feel like you can go fast in it. It's not a fast shoe. Same goes for the cushioning. It doesn't feel particularly soft. It just feels like a perfectly fine, enjoyable to wear stability shoe that does feel very stable. So if you want a stable shoe, this is going to do a good job for it. Although there's a lot of materials and kind of technology that goes into that midsole and outsole section, I didn't really notice a lot of it when running. It doesn't doesn't feel particularly bouncy or soft or anything like that. It just feels fairly rigid. Not too hard. It's not like you're banging around in clogs, but I didn't really feel anything from it. So it feels stable, but that's about all I'm getting from it. The outsole rubber is actually really durable. There's no signs of it really wearing down now. So that's another benefit of the shoe. It does feel like a very durable piece of kit that's going to last you a while, which is probably what you want for a shoe like this. Overall, I think this is a very good stability shoe. I think if your focus is, if you're overpronate, underpronate, if you're a heavier runner who wants to feel like you've got a shoe that's really supporting you, I think it's a good option. If you're looking for something that's a balance, which you tend to get a lot these days, where you'll see a stability shoe which is kind of straddling stability, but a little bit of kind of faster or longer run stuff that offers a little bit more in terms of flexibility and energy return, stuff like that. This is probably not going to do it for you. It's not a very balanced shoe. It's an all-out stability shoe that does give you peace of mind. It is very stable and supportive, but it's not going to offer you much else if you're looking for an all-rounder shoe or something like that. Having said that, if you're going to do a marathon and you do overpronate a lot and you want a stability shoe, or underpronate, and you want a stability shoe, or you're a heavier runner who needs that as well, it should be fine. It's probably not going to give you a PB. You're not going to get really fast times in this, but if your focus is just peace of mind that you're going to do the distance and your ankles and feet are going to be in a good position, I think it's probably a good option, and I did feel very secure when wearing it. Other alternatives would be the Brooks GTS line, the Saucony Guide 13, or maybe the Asics Gel Kayano 27, which are all quite similar in terms of how they feel. In fact, the Saucony Guide 13 almost feels identical to this for me. Even everything including the padding of the tongue and the heel section as well. So very similar shoe. So that's it from me and the 361 Degrees Strata 4 stability shoe. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and click the little bell icon. It really does make a difference, and we're all always very thankful when anyone actually shows an interest in the channel. And don't forget to look at some of the other videos we've got. So we cover loads of new shoes that come out every week. The latest tech, whether that's wearables, headphones, or some weird new technology that you probably haven't even heard of yet. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.